Yes, it is. Okay, there we go. Hello everyone. We're going to try to improve this render. Okay, so let's open it up. Let's open up the file. Let's show you the existing one. So it's actually not too bad at all, really. It's going to be, I'm not going to, I definitely can improve it. That's why I'm doing this stream, but it's not going to be really easy. Color correction is off. It's too blue. You can tell that by the black here. Too blue slash greenish, to be honest. You can tell the black is not proper black. So that's post-production. I do feel like a lot of the improvement here is going to be from post-production, because the quality is not too bad and the composition is actually nice. I do like the composition. So I think a lot of the work here is going to be through post-production, which I know when I did this render about a year ago, I was certainly not very good at editing, especially Archviz, but even just editing in Photoshop post-production wise. At that time, I hadn't developed really a style yet, and I didn't really know how to make a photo look good in Photoshop. So I think a lot of it is going to be Photoshop work, but we're going into the Blender scene anyway to see if we can make some adjustments there too. So let's add it in now. Let's pop out the chat, change it to live. Pop out the chat. Here. Okay. Take this off. So as you can see, this is the scene. It's literally just this kitchen unit. I just put a kitchen unit. I remember doing it. I just put a kitchen unit in a room just to try and basically just try and play around with some lighting and try and make it look nice. So I'm going to remove that and I'm going to make the room as smaller so we get more global illumination. And then shaders are compiling, so that might take a minute just to do that. I'm going to check out what lighting I've got in the scene, where I've got the light coming in, see if we can improve upon that, maybe change the composition a little bit, maybe add some more detail. Basically, I'm very new to Archviz. I've worked with Blender for a year and a half now, and I've worked with 3D for 3 years, pretty on and off for the first year and a half. I started with 3ds Max, now I moved to Blender. So I don't really know why is that relevant. I'm trying to explain that I'm not a pro by any means at Archviz. Definitely wasn't here, definitely not now. But inside my head I have 5 things, elements of an Archviz render which help increase the quality and photorealism. And I thought of them the other day, and this is just coming from someone who's just moving into Archviz now. I'm not a seasoned professional, not a seasoned vet. Don't take this these 5 tips as that's it, as advice to go and live by. Just as a discussion, open discussion out there. See if anyone thinks there's anything else they would add to this list or things they disagree with. This is just mine that I've thought of for now. Probably in the future, in like a year or two's time, I'll probably look back on this list and be like, nah, that's not even relevant, or nah, this is way more important. But I'm gonna list them first. So I'd say details, lighting, composition. Then I had real life people, I think I had, and I had one more. What was it? Was it scale? I think let's go with story and I feel like no, it's textures. So these are the 5 things that I thought of. But now I thought about scale is also in there, but scale would be in composition. So this isn't an order yet, but details, lighting, composition, story, textures. Details would be stuff like this wine glass here and the plates. Then we've got lighting, which is self-explanatory inside the Blender and in post-production. To be fair, you can enhance lights, you can add lighting yourself. Lighting in the scene, composition, which is the camera positioning, and then the positioning of the stuff in the image. So using depth, foreground, background. Story, so does the image tell a story? Does it have inside story? I would put I think originally I had like real life people, but I'd actually expand that to just story, and real life people can fit in that. But just what does the image tell you? Is there a story behind it? Textures, so high quality texture and realistic textures, really important for a good image. I'd say in terms of order of importance, it changes depending on what you're valuing it on. If you're valuing it on realism, I would go, for me, lighting is the most important. Lighting is the most important. For realism, this is. And then for realism, texture is second. Details is third. Composition is fourth, and story is fifth for realism. You don't need a good story for realism, but it's still important. I'm not saying a good story behind the image is not important for realism. It is, but I say to make people look at an image and think that it's a real photo, it's not so important. But it isn't. All of these 5 points are important for a very good photo, and that's kind of the 5 that I kind of look at my old renders when I try to improve them. This is where the point is going, and I look at them 5 and I think, what? Let me take all of these 5 points and think, does the image have them? So let's go through them now. So this is for a realistic photo. For a good photo, I don't even know how to rank them. I think just have a really good Archviz. There is no ranking, you just need all 5 of them, to be honest. But let's go through them. It doesn't really matter the order anymore. Let's just go. Actually, we'll start with the easiest to create, which is composition. I would actually say this image does have quite good composition already. Unfortunately, I don't have I don't have the files because I've moved this file from my old computer to my new one. I don't have the texture file, so I'm gonna have to find them. But as you can see, we're having some issues with the floor anyway, so I might just change the floor texture to one very similar anyway. And this is probably just reflective black anyway, so it's not a big deal. Everything else can stay the same, but I will change the floor texture. In terms of composition though, I would say actually is pretty good. I'm gonna reduce the width. I can do 2 things. I can either go like ultra wide like this. I think I'm gonna go with more like that though. And then let's go a bit wider actually to here. It's really close to what I had anyway though, isn't it really? Let's go, one thing that I didn't used to do that I do now that I've noticed is, 1, not label my thingies, and then 2 is go into the camera options, pass that to 100. And then the layout scheme, let's make our normal layout, so a 3D viewport here, with the, press N on the keyboard and view, and then change the focal length to like 25 or something, so it's nice and wide. And then this view is going to be our preview of what the render looks like, so we're going to turn everything off, put it in rendered mode, and then down here for images it's going to be the shader editor. So composition wise, I actually do quite like this. I feel now I've zoomed it in a bit more, I'm going to move that to the right. Maybe I move it back a bit more. We can change the field of view a bit as well. I feel like 50 is quite nice though. But let's move it here. I like having the 3 lights in the scene, but let's just go like that. Yeah, so composition wise, I think this was already good anyway. I think it's quite basic composition, but we've got vertical lines due to the fact that are not perfectly vertical, but almost. There you go. Lines due to the fact that our scene has there you go. Now is that in the middle? So let's put on this for a second. Yes, it is pretty much. Nice. Composition was good anyway. Let's have a look at the floor. Obviously, we've got a few issues here with the floor just not being good at all. So what I'm inclined to do is to just make, first of all, just make this unplug that. Let's just make a new plane for the floor. It will just do us a lot easier. Just for an image render, doesn't really matter. Let's get that out like that. There you go. And then let's hide everything but that. We obviously have film. Something going on there with that. And then let's use our blend kit to find a tiled floor again. We can go with the black again. I used them black tiles before, so I don't want to use them. Let's use these ones, make them darker though. Make it black again. I'll use the same color. So here it comes. Give it a bit of time. I'd highly recommend this. This is Blend Kit I'm using here, which is a add-on for Blender. I do pay monthly for it though. Otherwise, for materials, for realistic materials for your Archviz, I would 100% recommend going to this website, which they've changed their name for now to Ambient CG, and you can explore all the materials and things that they have. They're very similar. A lot of them I think are the same as are in the Blend Kit option, or very similar. And you just go on it, you download it, and then it will be in your a folder on your computer. You open a folder. Then what you can do is you can go on Blender, you can make a new material. Then Control-Shift-T, Control-Shift-T, the principal shader, and then just go into the folder where all the color, diffuse, this color same as diffuse, I think it was very similar. I'm not that smart with this stuff. Roughness, like displacement and normal maps. Press A on all of them, add them all in, and I'll put them in the right place for you. But we don't need to do that. So what I am going to do though is select all the outer edges and mark seam, UV unwrap, make another one, make a UV editor, and then we are going to make sure that that's a lot of nodes. But we just zoom out a bit. Sure, it's to scale. Scale, very important, scale. Okay, and then we want to make it darker. So we're going to look at this massive node tree and just figure out how we make it darker. I'm just going to do the good old hue and saturation there and value down. Now all that is done is absolutely nothing, so we should go back on this and figure it out properly here. That's not doing too much either, is it? That's the walls. Being kind of stupid now. Here. There we go, we've actually got the floor doing some sort of different colours, which I think is quite cool actually, so let's just go with actually we just go with black, shall we? Yeah, just go black. Make it easy on ourselves. So you've got a marble top. It's very boring in colour, so that's something that I might have a look at. Now these are causing a problem, obviously, because they are I mean, what a mess. I mean, what's going on here? Surprised people can make such complicated nodes for materials. Let's just now just make it metallic and reduce the roughness. I mean, that'll do. Same for this. Let's just make it. It's going to be a massive one too, isn't it? Oh, it's actually not, to be fair. That's the timer. That's what's causing a problem. Okay. Well, let's just put that in there. Make it black. And same with that. Same with that. We'll just make it black. It can be turned off. And the hob can also be turned off. That makes things easier, doesn't it? Now, these tiles, I mean, the granite looks really cool, actually. So maybe we should just leave it. I just think too black and white, you know, it's boring. There's not a lot of colour going on here at all, is there? Even that is black and white. Maybe that's what I was going for in the render. So now we're working on the details, I guess, part of what we're doing here. But let's have a look at the lighting first, actually. Hello, Dimitri. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything's good. Thank you for tuning into the stream. So, I've put that in the wrong thing. Okay. Yep, that's great. Okay, so we have a sun texture. Interesting. Actually, quite. It's not doing too much other than just shining a little bit of sun rays there, which I like. Do we do an HDR for this, or what's going on here? We have an HDR working. It's adding a global illumination light of light blue. So for now, we've removed that, and that is why the image looked a little bit tingy on the blue side, even in the render. I was wondering. I thought that's something I did in post-production when you look at the original image. I should probably add the original image actually. OBS image. I'll just call it whatever. Who cares? Oh, I've got to find where we were. This kitchen progress. There. It's massive. How's that? Text. Original image. Okay, yeah, it's got that weird blue tinge. Now it's gone, so that's pretty good. I guess I lighted it with an area light then. Or is it just this that's lighting it? It's just the global illumination light, okay. So the only lights now, so what I do when I redo a scene is I like to just turn all the lights off. I want to get a really good idea of what's actually creating light in the scene. So I believe these are all doing stuff. They are a little bit, but there's actually just emission on the material which is causing light to come out of them, actually. There you go, that goes off. And then the only light remaining is the light here, which will turn off. There we go. And then there's slight light from inside the oven, which is not a big deal. And what's the red? What's the red coming from? Ah, the emission here. Okay, nice. Let's add that back in. It's obviously quite nice. And then the emission, go back actually. Put it to 1, that's fine. And actually looks quite nice, but I'm actually going to do a little bit of that colour. Saturation down though. And then we're going to add this back in at 5. Okay. Then we can feel free to turn these back on again. And I'm going to do a warm light this time instead. Like that. And the emission is the main thing really. Like that. We'll do a more warm light instead. This direction. Gives it a bit of... I haven't decided whether I'm going down the like night route or daytime route yet, so we'll leave that now. So we've got one window here. No problem having the light coming across the scene. I'm fine with that. It's actually a good idea. And then one from the back, which we might remove. I'm not sure. We've got the sunlight, so the sunlight's completely fine. Now let's add a HDRI. So let's go environment texture. Actually, we could do it in easy HDRI. So create world nodes and easy. This is easy HDRI. This add-on is called. You can add it into your Blender file. I'd recommend it. It's a nice little add-on. We're going to go with Industrial Sunset because Industrial Sunset is my go-to for Archviz interiors. No, just accept. Sorry, go here. Wait for him to load. Industrial Sunset. It's my go-to for interior renders. Okay, so now let's go back to here and make film non-transparent again. Remove that and figure out where the sun's coming from. So we want the sun to go through our little window in the kitchen here. So we're going to use the HDRI mapping node here on the world output to rotate. And we're going to go the wrong way. I suppose. Yeah, the wrong way. Everything is fine. Great to hear, Dimitri. So I'm just figuring it out. My brain can't comprehend this right now, apparently. Oh, we had it lined up quite nicely anyway. Sun, window, sun. Is that the right window? Yeah, this is just a little window at the back. That's pointing, yeah. Please make a stream on creating a simple interior from night to end. What's like a transition from turning the lights out on the daytime and nighttime and things? Yeah, we can do that. What room do you think is best for that? Kitchen would do well, actually. We could do it with this scene another day, or could make a new one. But you said creating a simple interior, so you want to see the process of adding the furniture and the things in the room. What's good for that? I do feel like kitchens are quite good for that. They're quite fun because as you go into nighttime, the sort of lights come on inside the kitchen. It should look quite cool. So we could definitely do that. We'll do that with a different scene though. We'll start from scratch. Good idea. Thanks for the idea. Okay, and the sun. Okay, so what have we got for our sun? What's going on here? So it's quite low. We've got it shining there. Can we get it shining on the? We can. And if I increase it to 10, and then increase the angle. So what the angle does is if you have a really low angle, it doesn't actually change the sun position. Not what you think. It does in theory, but it doesn't. So if you want to change where the light is shining on your scene, you want to rotate your sun or move your sun. So if I move it to the left, it's not going to do much because it's the sun. It's massive, right? So it doesn't really matter. Up and down won't do anything. It's massive, right? This, although it looks small, right? In theory, it's supposed to be, humongous, beginning to end. Yeah, that sounds good. We'll do that. So in theory, it's huge. So moving the position doesn't change much, other than if you make it. Let's say we made it this side. The sun is going to. That doesn't do anything still. Yeah, because it doesn't really matter where your sun's positioned. This does not now mean that it's going to fly through this window. It's still flying through this window because it's pointing this direction. It's all about where the ray is pointing. If I was to rotate this upwards, you can see how the sun in our scene on the left here is moving. So you can change you can almost make the time of day change a little bit with this. In theory, you can also do that with a bit of this plus turning turning the strength up and down. You know, obviously the sun's off and the sun's on again. Middle of the day, it's probably going to be quite high. It's going to be about 3 or something, maybe more. We want it shining about here. Now the angle will do, it will change the sharpness of the light. So you can see it's quite boxy. You can change it to 5 and get more smooth. And as you go up, if you go to 50 or something, you can almost, you know that there is more light shining on here than there is here. There is more light. That is a fact. And you can see from here, the light shining comes through the window, and there's not much here because it's missing that part because of the shadows being created around this corner. There, that corner is shadows because the light shining through here and the shadow here. But when you increase the angle, it increases the softness of the light. I find I quite like the hard shadow, but it's actually, some people don't like the hard. For this, we will go a little bit in between. We won't go full on. It's almost like the angle is almost like when you create an area lamp and you increase the size of the area lamp. So you have a small area lamp and you're shining on something and have sharp shadows, and you increase the area light, it evenly spreads the light around the object that you're lighting more, so the lighting is more even all around and you get less sharp shadows. Same thing right here really. So let's go with about here, and I would like, so we're going about 4%, so it's still pretty sharp, and I would like to actually shine it more onto our, I'm going to remove sun lamp so I can properly see what it's actually lighting. Put it in 0, that's what it does. Now we do get some lighting coming from the lamps, don't forget, shining on here and in the background. Now if I add the sun at 25, it's going to shine a bright light, overexposure on our side here, and if I increase this up, it's going to move where it's going, but I want it about here, oh, where it was, and not so strong. Edit, redo, but not so strong. About 5 is probably good. So, oh, let's actually rotate it a bit more. And there, and give it a bit of a more sun-like color. Now let's increase the strength of our cigar again, and we get this. Our scene is looking nice and realistic, I would say. Are there any other compositions that I think would look better? What video card do I have? Let's do another. I'm not ignoring your question, I'm just thinking. Let's duplicate that. What video card do I have? I have a 3070 Super. Yeah, 3070 Super on this PC that I'm running right now. What you're watching is 3070 Super. Just call this 1, 2. With 2, what we'll do is we'll reduce the focal length. We'll try a few different camera angles. Something like this might look quite cool. 3070 Super. Yeah, NVIDIA GeForce RTX, sorry. It's a pre-built computer. It's the first one I ever got that's pre-built because of the graphics card shortage. So it's an Omen one, but it's, yes, GTX RTX, GeForce RTX 3070 Super. What about this? We do need to go 90 on there, 0 on there, go 45 on there, reduce that to 35 again, looking the wrong way, like that, please. Change the tilt angle. Let's try another composition as well and see how well it does. So let's do extra bits. So this is going to be all the stuff that I've added myself after thingy. So first thing I want to do is a bin in that corner. I feel like a nice bin is what we need in this. Not an outside bin, please. I want a kitchen bin. Kitchen bin. This will do. Should have placed it somewhere. Whoops. But here's where I wanted it anyway. A nice kitchen bin. And we need more on the sides, I think. I think we also need a little bit of wood. This is the fridge, correct? Very fancy looking fridge, isn't it? Should we change the roughness down to make it a bit more effective? And the metallic up to make it look more like an actual fridge. And we need down. Very fancy, very blocky, but that's how people like it these days. This needs to be wood. Yes. That would be great. Let's do that. This needs to be wood. I can see it now. We need a bit of wood in here. It's too white and black. So let's add in the wood. And we want, what kind of wood do we want? I feel like it's lots of lines on this, in this scene. There's a good lineage going on. We've got here. So let's add in. That's like a floor material though. Got floor wood, not white wood. Not more black and white, please. A dark wood might look nice. Like a walnut. Could try the wood panel. Let's try them. Not sure what the UV mapping is like on these boxes, so. I'm not sure. It looks cool, but it's not right. This really should just be one plane, so let's just do that quick. Plane 90, boom, boom, boom. That in there. Thingy like this. Scale it in, down like that. I can go to the past the floor, who cares? That. Doom mark seam, UV unwrap. Let's try. Let's add a material to it. Let's try a different wood. Let's try. Not sure if that one's right. Try just the regular. Nah, that's not really right either. Try this one. I feel like I want this to be and we could try the white one, I suppose. Maybe it's just one of those ones that just needs to be white to fit in. I mean, that actually looks better, I think, than what we've had so far. It's too saturated, but obviously I can change that though. No, I don't know about this one. About dark wood. Let's keep trying woods until we get one that feels good. I mean, that's kind of nice. Maybe it fits the room more, because... Should we try the floor white? Too, by the way? This one? Yeah. Should we try floor white? Oh, that looks kind of snazzy, not gonna lie. Oh, I like that. I prefer that. Okay, that looks cool. With this, 3 more. Maybe do a little saturation this bad boy. And what if we made these that color? What is it? Dark wood? Dark wood. Dark wood. Quite like that. I thought that was quite cool actually. Make another front grey when I actually make it grey. What was in our original image again? Oh, it's white. It's the 3 thingies as well, isn't it? There's just holes in each. Just add in 2 like that. Move them across a bit. Let's go on the original camera. Yeah, it looks cool. Okay, should we add more detail? Okay. There's like... Is there like nothing going on up here? The walls, they're kind of like... There, food frame wall. That's what this was. White plastic. And my front's grey. 2 anyway. Okay, nice. Camera. Extend focal length a bit. And change the height a bit. Give it a bit of height. And let's add some things to this, okay? So let's do a... I don't know what we could do, really. Let's render this out and see how it looks. Could add depth of field. Some depth of field might do it some good. Post-production is going to do a lot here, I think. It's too green, it's too bluish, look at that. See what this looks like. Stick with this for now. So originally we had, it's what we've changed. We've just changed all the material, or quite a few of the materials and things. Originally we just had we had just the global illumination light, so the world light, lighting the scene mostly. So what we have is we just have very even lighting, which isn't too bad for a kitchen. That's why it doesn't actually look too bad. Other than the tinge of blue, it actually still looks like a decent image, because kitchens definitely are very well lit in general, especially in the middle of the day. You could just say this was taken in the middle of the day, so everything's quite bright and everything's white too, so it kind of fits. But the thing that's saving this image is the fact that I have a sunlight coming through the side, so there's exposure and shadow is being created by the glasses and things and shining on here, which gives it a little bit more sense of realism. If it didn't have that, it definitely would look a lot flat. So obviously changed the angle and things, but we've also we've added HDRI lighting, which is the really good form of realistic lighting, and we've lined it up so the sun's coming through the window. Added the sun lamp ourselves as well. I don't think the sun is coming out this, is it? No. Let's carry on with this render, because I've just realised the sun light isn't turned on because there's no sun lighting on here, but I actually think it looks quite cool as more of like a night render. So I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to leave it because it actually looks, I actually quite like it. So leave it for now, and then we'll do another one with the actual sunlight turned on. And we'll also do one in closer to the more close. We'll do one closer to the original camera angle too. Camera angle. This looks more like an afternoon and nighttime render. That's fine. It's almost done. It's almost done anyway. We can work on the post-production for this more nighttime one while the daytime one is rendering. We might as well, while we're there, increase the HDR light as well to really go in on it. This looks more like this looks like a sunset now, which is looking nice actually, because we have this light here shining from the window, I think. So looks nice. Okay, so that one's done. Let's save it. Kitchen sunset, we'll call it. So the post-production will do like different things for that one. And then we might as well change this to 520, considering the size of the image is quite big, so we don't really need it. And then do that, increase the sunlight size, the thingy strength, put 1 on that, and then the sun obviously, and again let's start photoshopping our new one, and we'll do one in the same very similar camera angle to our original to show hopefully an improvement of the render. So let's start working on this one. Interior scenes generally are quite easy to post-product, I feel. Right click, convert to smart object, filters, camera raw filter. So the scene, it's a bit dark at the moment, so let's increase the exposure. That'll do it a lot of help. Bear in mind, actually, this is supposed to be the nighttime one, actually. So, yeah, I'm doing a daytime right now. So actually, just leave it. Maybe even go under. The highlights up, as it's supposed to be a nighttime one. Highlights down. Shadows down. Highlights up, maybe. Texture to 20-ish is always essential, and clarity is very important. Temperature is also important. Let's give it a little bit more of a warm vibe. Stick with the nighttime approach for this. Blacks can go down, whites can go up. Maybe not so much of a difference. Like it needs a little +1 on the purple. As you can see, we're barely really changing the render too much, which is fine. Again, not much color here, so if I wanted to, I could remove saturation on the. I'm gonna remove a little bit of the yellow of the reflection on the saturation in the color mix section. Orange is gonna remove the saturation of the wood, which I don't want, so I'll leave that as it is. Everything else won't affect anything. Luminance of the yellows will increase. Orange I'll increase too, I feel. Give it a vignette. important for, especially for darker scenes, to have a vignette around what's going on. Okay, and there we go. I feel like that's good for now. And I'd like to add in filter, blur. I'm going to fill blur. If I go a little bit of blurriness there, add a non-blurriness here, but only a tiny bit, just to blur that out a bit. Keep that strong. Create a little bit of depth of field. Save that. Oh, and then also let's go desktop work. Yeah, no, desktop. Let's add a little bit glow to the right side. Go like this, flip it, that. Increase the size a bit, like that. Then change it to screen. Then turn it down. Okay, then mask it off. Like that. Then change the hue and saturation. The hue is too thingy, the saturation is too much. And then alt click this. Make this 1. Wait 1 sec. We'd have to make it 1, I suppose. That's nothing. That. Create clipping node. That's what we've got right now. Let's scale it upwards, turn off dimensional stuff like that. Turn it down again on opacity. Get back on this, remove it from there. Turn up the opacity. Nice. Leave it as that. Our render should be done now. This is the daytime one. So kitchen. It's good to have multiple options of which ones you might prefer. Day. You never know which ones you like better when you actually look at it in post-production. Okay, and then we're going to render that in the front view, which is the same as the view sunset. Call that. Let me just check that doesn't feel too strong. Maybe a little bit too strong. But as a sunset render, I feel this works quite well. More displace floor tile, is that what you mean? More displacement on the floor. tile. We could need that. We could need that, or more space on the floor tile, as in between. Do you reckon? Yeah, let's do that. If you mean more space, I would probably agree. Between each tile, so the tiles aren't as small, I'd say you're probably right, actually. Yeah, let's do that. Let's scale it up. Don't know if that's what you mean, but if it's not, well, you've just put a good thought in my head anyway. Let's do that anyway. Maybe a bit too much there. Let's render that out. Then let's do this sunset one. Let's do this one with the new floor tiles as well, like Dimitri says, and see how that works. See how it works in the same camera and go and see which ones we prefer. Let's see. It's getting there, it's getting there. It's getting there. I feel like I also want to do one quickly. I'd like to do one quickly with this wood material as just black, to show the lighting changes between the differences between the scenes with just minimal changes in terms of material. Kitchen front, right? And then we'll call this one, we'll just quickly go on this. You can favorite the material so it doesn't go anywhere. Favorite it. We'll go fronts grey, fronts grey. Is that this one? Yeah. And then we'll turn specular back up on that. And we'll try with wide output a bit higher. Maybe 8 or 7 in the sunlight. Higher 2. Let's try that. Let's post produce. That one already feels edited, doesn't it? Let's try post product. This one, so right click, maximize your filters, camera raw filter. Let's try this. So exposure up, contrast, highlights, shadows, whites up, blacks down. Temperature. texture, clarity. Vignette to 10. That looks nice. And then let's go desktop. Let's try this again. But working like that this time. Put it on soft light, screen, low. The thingy on. Remove that. Through the saturation of it. I actually prefer it without with the saturation down. Let's do that for now. Kitchen front, we'll call that one. And let's save this one. And we'll call this one Kitchen OG to show that it's almost like the original. And then go camera angle, change back to here. And we could try this with the black background and the new thingy. Okay, let's try front. No. OG. Let's get original up. Okay. It's mostly color correction that we need to do. So right, filters, camera or filter, exposure up, contrast, highlights, shadows, whites, blacks, texture, clarity. Down a bit on all of these a bit actually. Okay, and then we go to the vignette. You can mess around with the color mixer a bit. Go with that, shall we? So let's save this one. Save this one here. Kitchen front. And we got one more. Okay, save this. Just call it kitchen 5, I guess. And I actually just realized for the front view, I'd like to do this. I'd like to go camera. I'd like to make it the dark wood again. Fine with that. Although, should we make this one and this one dark wood again? And this one 90. And this one I'll check it 90. In a bit. Camera. Let's increase the size of height. What if I want to... Come on, Blender, what's going on here? If I wanted to increase the size, is it only Photoshop? Is that the only option you give me? That's not gonna look right. Saturation of that a bit, I think. Still messing around with it. Aspect ratio is missed. There we go. To 1 on that. There you go, that's better. Let's go with this. So, what we've done so far, we have these ones. Which out of all of them, this one's my favourite. So I need to Photoshop that. Which is, it's day. It's kitchen day. Let's do some work on this one. filter, camera raw filter. Let's do some work on this one. Exposure a bit, contrast, highlights up, shadows down, whites up, blacks down. Let's increase the texture, the clarity, not dehaze, clarity only a bit, texture quite a lot. Contrast as is actually. So make sure it has good white balance. I think it's important for this image to look better than the original. I think it's very important. Just luminance of that, saturation of it. Go up a bit, it's not too bad. That's what's missing. That's what's missing. I just realised what's missing. Filter. It's missing some greenery. It's missing plant or two. Let's go. Right, let's add that quick in. Effects, vignette, 10. That's really all for that. So I've concluded that this is I prefer the new camera angle. I think it makes more sense. Save this as OG. And then I need to go to this. Boom. This camera angle. I need to add plant. That's what's missing. We need plant. And we need it now. We need one that's going to look nice. A bit of greenery, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense because it's drooping and stuff. No, that doesn't make sense. Wouldn't put that plant there. That go on the windowsill or something. Different plant, please. Different plant, please. Different plant, please. Different plant, please. Why is that so big? Is it really that big? No, it's not. It's good. Yes, it was missing a plant. And some books. It's missing some detail now. This is the camera angle I'm going with. Much prefer this. This looks good to me. I like the look at this. Some books to stack. Some extra detail. The books can rotate away. No, towards. Ah. Actually, I can go there. Remove some books. No one has that. Some people could have that many books stacked, but I feel like not everyone does. Some paperwork, maybe. Toys sprawled on the side. What's that? Paper coffee cup. Time for that detail we're talking about. Time for that detail we're talking about right now. So random child's drawing, I can go there, and then just stuff really. Oh, this plant's more like to go there, to be honest. Succulent plant could go here, right in the middle of the table. Books can go on the edge a bit more. Kitchen, some more things. There's a blender there we could add in. Knife set that can go on the wall. That goes there. Got my phone. That's massive. This looks out of place. I like the plant, but it looks out of place. Chopping board. Chopping board here. Plant. The edge of a plant can actually go there instead. A house plant like that. Here it comes, Swiss cheese plant. Go there. Where's it gone? Let's maybe go out a bit so you can see that. Like maybe the coffee cup's too much. Yeah, that looks better. Coffee cup's too much. And a little something else on the side here, I think. More Displace raw floor tile. How do you treat Russians in England? As far as I'm concerned, the same as everyone else. yeah, at least I do. I treat anyone the same, no matter the nationality. Maybe an oven glove might be good on the side. Oh, and yeah, what is the name of the book add-on? Oh, the add-on that added the books? Blend Kit. That is, it's an add-on. I pay monthly for it. I do recommend it though. It is very good. Otherwise, it's you can get Blend Kit without paying, and you can add this add-on. It's called Blend Kit. Just type it in. You can add it into Blender, but you don't get access to all the files. For that, you would need to pay subscription for, which I paid for. Which is why everything is unlocked for me. If you got it, some stuff would have a lock on it, and you wouldn't be able to drag it in. But it's very good. I highly recommend it. Yeah, let's go with this. But yeah, as per your question, for me, it doesn't matter who your nationality. You treat everyone the same. As we know, it's not the same for everyone. Unfortunately, people do treat people differently depending on where they're from. Unfortunately, but it's not for me. So, and it is a general consensus in England. It's most people have sense, and it doesn't matter. This looks a lot better. We got a lot more going on, a lot more lively. Much preferred this. I like the addition of the little tree there. Looking much better. Should we like move these two so they're like more aligned quickly though? That's kind of bothering me a little bit. There you go. Why is that so bright there? I wonder if we can stop that. Crash because I tried to do too many things while we were open. No. Okay. This ended up getting removed. I hate when this happens. What did I have in? Okay, we had the kitchen knife set here. This is so annoying. Kitchen knife set was here. This moved along. Spoon set is here. The brass one, the copper one. I think it was this one. And then we had the plant, which was the Swiss one. Save now, quick. Which was here. And then save. And then the little plant was in the middle. And then we had paper, we had a bit of paper on the side. We'll go with this one, it's not colour this time. Chopping board. Nice. Chopping board was here. Then we had tea and table pot thing. A bit further on. Like these look nice. I quite like these. Gonna add these in, and then isn't it a start? Or the first page is on the second page. What do we type in to get the teapots and things? It's like that, but not. Guess we'll just add these in instead, I guess. These are long. Yeah, so we got more of the tree showing. Counter, what was it called? We'll say tea set. Pretty annoyed that we lost this. Feel like it worked quite well. Oh, please save. file we saved. Alright, let's go with that. So it's basically going to be this one, but with more, obviously more in there, which is good. Not sure about the green, but we can change that anyway. It's looking good. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. Okay. Done 1 out of 4. The last ones always take less time though, so that's okay. Here it comes. Here it comes. Come on, you can do it. Almost there. Yeah, I might remove some of the floor. Yeah, I feel like the floor's taking up too much space, not enough ceiling. Balance is a little bit off. But apart from that, we're good. I'll just do that in post-production. Try to at least. Okay, let's save. Progress. Renders actually. Let's call it number 6. I don't know if it is number 6, but just do it. Comes out to 5, so we'll do that. Then let's add this in. Renders 6. wanted to have a look at quickly, just camera smart filter, just cropping off some of this, increasing some of this. That looks better. And then what we'll need to do, like this, select color, new layer, select them. And there you go. I feel like that works better. Nice. And then what I can do is combine the two, and then if I go, where is it gone? That one. And just try and blur the line between the two. And then also that, it's in there. And like that. Bit more. Okay, that works. And then try and remove the discolorations. Bit more. Alright, I've removed it enough there. Okay, now let's go convert to smart filter, filters, camera raw filters, and give this the old camera raw filter standard. So vignette down, as it's on that anyway, exposure up, contrast, highlights, shadows, whites, blacks, and a little bit of vignette there. Texture we'll go 30 on this one. I feel like it needs a good amount of texture. And whack up the clarity a bit, I think, too. And then vibrance down a bit. Actually, don't mess with the vibrance. Do that in the color mixer. Let's go saturation on the oranges down a tiny bit, luminance on the oranges up a bit, I want to say. Yeah, then basic. The temps need to change at all. Fine as it is. And as is, maybe 1 up on the temp. One up's fine on the temp. Turn our saturation on the oranges a bit. And then we need to, I think we need to extend that again, not gonna lie. Nice, we'll go with that. And that is an improvement on a render. So let's get the two next to each other, shall we? Kitchen improved, we'll call it. Okay, should we get the two next to each other? Let's do it. Nope. And then, actually, I could have just left it in there. Kitchen improved than the original one. And then we want to go like that. Let's add that back in. Straight. Then cropping. Do it by 16 by 9. And then, oh, whoops. Yeah, that's fine. 16 by 9 is fine. Need to make it bigger though. Nice. Let's up the brightness of this a bit. I feel that looks nice. Okay. Let's add a nice arrow in, shall we? And there you go. They're the two that render side by side with the improvement that we did today. I'm going to add an arrow and do that as a thumbnail. Thank you so much everyone for watching this stream. Thank you for checking it out. If you're watching it not live, make sure you leave a like below, or if you're watching it live, leave a like below and subscribe if you haven't already for more 3D photorealistic tips as well as freelance 3D tips if you're looking to get into the world of self-employment, being inside the 3D industry. Hope everyone has a wonderful day or night depending on where they're from, and thank you again so much for checking